Honourable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech Thee to look with favour upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in Thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labours of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and Thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us the vision of our country. It might be country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor. Country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with. Country where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving. Country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, we have the votes and proceedings of Friday, June 28th, 2024. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, page 14, page 15, page 16, page 17, page 18, page 19, page 20, and page 21. Honourable members, in the absence of any corrections, votes and proceedings of Friday, June 28, 2024, are hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. I have one official report. Official report of Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. Wednesday, 20th March 2024. Any corrections? Official report for Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. Any corrections? In the absence of any corrections, the official report of Wednesday, March 20th, 2024 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honourable members, there are two schools that are here to visit us and to observe proceedings. The first school is from the Asing South constituency in Krang Ingresi DA Basic School, Asing Daman. They are led by Mr. Derek Bafo, who is the headmaster. There are 107 of them. You're welcome to Parliament. Thank you for visiting. You may resume your seat. We have also students from the University of Mines and Technology, the SR Parliament. They are led by Abdul Rahman Imad, who is the Speaker of the Students' Parliament of the University of Mines and Technology, Takwa, in Saim, from Takwa and Saim constituency. There are 30 of them. You're welcome to Parliament. Honourable members, on leadership, I may be guided.
Speaker, may I seek your leave for us to vary order of business and rather keep to take public business?
Sorry, which item did you call out?
Speaker, the commencement of public business, we are ready. Item 11. We are starting off with the item 11S on page 12. 11S on page 12.
Very well. At the commencement of public business, item 11, presentation of papers. Sub X. Who is laying the reports?
Speaker, the sector minister is here, and we are taking all three. Speaker, yes, you are taking all three.
Yes, you may do the presentation item X.
Work program of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, for the year 2024. Amended agreements for the establishment of the African Energy Bank. Amendment of the Africa Energy Bank.
Honourable members, the reports are duly laid. They are for distribution to members. Oh, these are annual reports. Very well. Very well. The work program of GMPC, the audit committee of the National Communications Authority, and that of the Meteorological Agency. Very well. Yes. Work program of GMPC for 2024. Establishment of African Energy Bank and the amended charter of the African Energy. Very well. The reports are, the papers are hereby referred to the Committee on Energy to consider and report. Yes, Honorable Chief Whip.
Speaker, I will rely on your leave again as to take item 11U. Item 11U on page 13. Speaker, I seek your leave for it to be done by the chair of the Roads Committee.
Very well, item U, as in universal, by the committee. Yes.
Report of the Committee on Mines and Energy on the amended agreement for the establishment of the African Energy. Report of the Committee on Mines and Energy on the amended charter of the Africa Energy Bank.
Honourable members, the reports are duly laid for distribution to members. Yes, what next?
Speaker, before we revert back to item 7, may we proceed rather proceed to page 47 and take item 67.
Honourable members, item 67. Motion by the Minister for Transport. Yes, Honourable Minister for Transport.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move National Rules Authority.
Excuse me, I'm confused. There's the Minister for Transport sitting there. Why is it? So, okay, it should change to the Minister for Roads and Highways, not Minister for Transport. Please let the correction be effected that the motion to be moved by Minister for Roads and Highways. Yes, Honourable Minister, you may now move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that the Authority Bill 2023 be now read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, who is seconding the motion?
The Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Very well. The motion for third reading moved and seconded. I will put the question. The question is, as many as are in favor of the motion number 67, say all against say no. The ayes have it. The National Road, sorry, you read the title then.
An act to establish the National Roads Authority to plan, develop, maintain, protect and manage the road infrastructure and road network in the country and to provide for related matters.
The National Roads Authority Bill 22 is duly read a third time and passed. Yes.
So shall we proceed now to page 23 and take item 12 on page 23 with your leave.
Item 12, presentation of instruments. A.
West African Gas Pipeline Amendment Regulations 2024.
The paper is duly presented. Is referred to the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation to consider and B.
Fisheries Port State Measures Regulations 2024.
The answer is duly presented. Is referred to the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation to consider and report. C. Item C is to be moved by the Minister for Justice.
Well, I don't have any indication.
Very well. So we'll defer consideration of item C.
Yes. So
Very
now
well.
we can now proceed to take item 7.
Yes, Honourable Leader.
Well, item 7, however, so we got the questions advertised in the name of the Minister for Education. I am reliably informed by the table office that an official correspondence has come out from the Minister, and hence all questions for the Minister of Education will be rescheduled. So, Speaker, we can then effectively move on to start with questions 180, which stands in the name of the Minister for Health. Essentially, we are taking all the health questions, but deferring that for...
There's one urgent question on the health, item C. Number 2.
Yes. Yes, Speaker, you're right.
So the Minister for Health may take his seat now.
Speaker, I further want to seek your leave that where the questioner is not available, the answers will be published. Then we can proceed.
Let the Minister take his seat, then we'll take it one after the other. Item 7C, question to be asked by the Honourable Member for Asante Achim South, Mr. Kweku Asante Boateng. The Honourable Member for Asante Achim South is not in the House, so I direct that the Honourable Minister will table the answer as given, and the answer department will take note and publish it in the official report. The next question is to be asked by the Honourable Member for Enyaso, Mr. Dixon Adumako Kisi. Very well. Question number 7D. I also direct that the Honourable Minister tables the answer as given and let the table office, the answer department take notes and publish it in the official report. Where does the next set of questions for the Minister of Health start from? Question number 180. Question number 180, asked in the name of the Honourable Member for Keta, Mr. Kwame Jujoli Kape. Very well. The questioner, the member who filed the question is not in the House. The Honourable Minister also table your answers. I'm sure they're already published anyway. The answer is published. May be published by the answer department in the official report. The same goes to question 282, is to be asked by the same member, is not in the House. Question number 283, the Honourable Member for Dafia Mabusi Isa, Dr. Sebastian Sandare, is also not in the House. Very well. Honourable Minister, table your answer, let the official report capture it. The next question is question 1144 by the Honourable Member for Edward Abambere Bawa. The Honourable Member is not in the House. The same procedure has to be followed. The Honourable Minister will publish. I will table the answers. Question number 1148. Question asked by the Honourable for Old Tafo, Mr. Vincent Eko Asefua. Is not in the House. He has not asked any of you to ask on his behalf. Very well. Let the Minister table the answer to be captured. The next question is by the Honourable Member for Mpoho, Mr. John Kobna Abam Abuasani. Is also not in the House. Honourable Minister, you may table your answer. Question 1220. In the name of the Honourable Member for Karachi East, Mr. Wisdom Gidisu. Mr. Wisdom Gidisu is not in the House. Question number 1223, in the name of Honourable Sanja Nanja, Honourable Member Member for Tibu Bomanting. The Honourable Member is not in the House. Question 1329. The name of the Honourable Member was Southong Kobina Mensa Woyomi. He is also not in the House. Question 1334. To be asked by the Honourable Member for Chimda. Is the Honourable Member for Chimda in the House? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, but unfortunately, this question was tabled some time ago, and I had no knowledge it was going to be presented today. I can't even find the question here, Speaker.
You can't find the question where?
On the other paper, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, look at page 6. It's there. 1334 on today's other paper, page 6.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I happily withdraw this question, Mr. Speaker. This is a question that was asked.
But the question has been the answer has been provided. So please read your question and let the minister provide it.
Thank you for the leave, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the Minister of Health the modalities from the operations of ambulance services operating in the various metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies across the country.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, currently the fueling of the ambulances to respond to emergency cases across the country is done by central government through the procurement fuel coupons, which coupons are distributed to the various ambulance stations to respond to emergencies. To sustain regular and seamless supply of fuel, the Cabinet gave approval for the Ministry of Energy to take up the supply of fuel to the ambulances. Mr. Speaker, this is being done to ensure effective rollout across the country. I thank you very much.
Yes, do you want to have do any more follow-up questions?
No follow-up, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Very well. That being the last question for the Minister for Health for today. Yes, Honourable Majority.
Yeah, I, with your indulgence, take you back to urgent questions and take question 7C. With your indulgence.
Question 7C asked that why? What has happened? Yes.
I have his authority. I have the authority.
You were here when I was asking whether anybody has. Very well. You may ask the question on behalf of the Honourable Member.
Speaker. The Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Health the current state of the Agenda 111 project under construction in the country.
Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Priority Health Infrastructure Project, GPHIP, as Agenda 111, is to design, construct, and equip 111 hospitals across the country. The initial preliminary and planning requirements were 101 district hospitals, 8 regional hospitals, and 2 regional psychiatric hospitals. The program was, however, revised to include the Accra Psychiatric Hospital and the Karaga, Manshia, and Nkraza district hospitals. The project is divided into 8 zones to facilitate project management. 96 district hospital sites are active, with contractors deployed and work in progress. The 8 remaining sites are progressing at various stages of completion. Mr. Speaker, the overall estimated progress of the 8 zones on the project is 64%. As of end of May 2024, Out of these sites, some sites that are currently above 80% in terms of works completed. And it is hoped some of these projects will be completed before the end of the year. 16 other sites that were challenged have been re-engineered or relocated, and construction has commenced. The 2 regional psychiatric hospitals are actively ongoing at Kumasi and Mr. Speaker, you may recall that funding for the project was impacted by the current IMF program. Additionally, the funding route was to use external borrowing, and that is currently under review as a result of the debt restructuring. Thank you very much.
Yes, honourable member. Any follow-up question, please?
So the minister has given satisfactory answers, and hence no further questions.
Honourable Minister, we thank you for attending upon the House to answer questions. You are now discharged. Yes.
May we proceed to page 44 of today's order paper and take item 57. And so may I seek your leave item to be moved by the Honourable Deputy Whip, who is a member of the committee.
Have the report being circulated already?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
I rise to move motion number 57 on page 44 of today's order paper. I so move.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Honourable members, the motion has been seconded. This is a procedural motion. Is that right? Let me confirm that we are dealing with the appropriate standing order. That's 1041 of the current one. Leader, do we have the number to take a decision? Yes, I want to satisfy myself that the number in the chamber is sufficient to take a decision. On matters which are not, doesn't require decision making, we'll take them, but if it requires taking a decision, we should be guided by the Constitution. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, physically, there appears to be that colleagues across the aisle are not present. But, Mr. Speaker, we rely on precedents by the Right Honourable Speaker, which precedence is to the effect that when we come into the chamber, we sign attendance as present. Our non-availability in the chamber temporarily does not in any way affect the quorum, so to speak. And Mr. Speaker, this is a precedence that we have. So I would to say that, Mr. Speaker, the legal presumption of regularity until same is rebutted can also be another one to rely on to proceed with proceedings of this House. So, Mr. Speaker, you should have no worries at all, having been guided with these two important points. I thank you, sir.
Where are the senior lawyers? I want to be guided. This is when we're talking law. Yes, Honorable Minister for Tourism. I'm referring to Article.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to, as it were, rise to contribute to the matter that the majority leader just spoke to. Speaker, I'm inclined to associate myself with the comments that the majority leader just made. In that, as the Speaker may be very much well aware, presumptions are deemed to be regular until rebutted, and to the extent that no rebuttal has been made, we can proceed on the precedent that the Speaker has established to conduct business
for a long time.
Thank you, Right.
This is not a legal argument. This is a convenient political argument here. Honourable members, I'm not convinced that we should take a decision. On any matter which we want to debate, I'll gladly oblige for us to discuss and defer decisions on all matters so that when we have sufficient numbers to take a decision, we will take them. But otherwise, I think that we can just debate the issues and defer decisions. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, there's good reason we are placed in the east of this chamber. Your wisdom guides all of us. We can only make suggestions to Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the matter in issue has to do with a decision we have already taken as a House. Suffice to state that because of language, the translation of same into different languages required that two words, Mr. Speaker, two words had to be amended, which words were substantial, what Mr. Speaker has become known in Latin as mutatis mutandis. Mr. Speaker, the rule under mutatis mutandis is that the effect of the change would have no
substantial, change to the document as a whole. So, Mr. Speaker, we can rely on that to proceed, given the fact that this document to be ratified has some deadlines that we have by close of day. Mr. Speaker, when I looked at it, it was just one word that it had been changed and then another word. So that's about it by way of background. Mr. Speaker, I know that when it comes to matters of interpretation, and Dr. Sebe Yeboah and Eyi Mensah case at the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court relied on the debates of this House to guide its decision. We can fortify ourselves by this explanation. Mr. Speaker, that is one leg of the argument. Leg two is more or less a repetition of what have already been said, of which my respected senior Japan Mesa had associated himself. Mr. Speaker, when we get into the chamber, we normally sign, and we go out, we come in, and all. The question of whether or not an issue of quorum has been raised is, as we are proceeding to undertake the business of Parliament, we proceed on the presumption of regularity. And I dare, with the greatest respect and no modesty, repeat that argument. Not losing sight of the fact that your wisdom is to guide, but you condition it in a way that, Mr. Speaker, if time is not of the essence, we could defer. But, Mr. Speaker, on this occasion and on this occasion only, time is of essence. So the next question to ask is, should we proceed, and there is anything to be done? Can same be cured? I say yes, we can. There can be a cure. It wouldn't be an irreparable damage, so to speak. So, Mr. Speaker, the matter before you, I invite you to hold that, of course, we are well fortified to proceed without any hesitation at all. Mr. Speaker, I so humbly submit, sir. Thank you.
Yes, I want to hear other people, other views on this matter. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, other views, but that does not pretend to mean alternative view to my leader.
I haven't suggested that. I want to hear
I wanted to be clear in my mind. Mr. Speaker, as the minister who brought the African Energy Bill and the Establishment Charter to this House last session, Mr. Speaker, the House unanimously supported the bill. I do recall that honourable member, ranking member on the Energy Committee, praising the government for the bold initiative to establish this bank. So, Speaker, even at that time, there was an issue that the bank, being a financial institution, the bill, the agreement should have come from the Ministry of Finance. But the President, in his wisdom, and the work that GMPC and NASA are doing, thought the Ministry of Energy should bring. So Parliament even agreed at that time that it goes to the Committee of Energy, whereas essentially it's the financial agency. So, Speaker, we did it, and Parliament agreed and gave us the resolution so that we could file as a competitor country establishment of this bank. A major change, especially in the light of climate change issues, are here. Mr. Speaker, after we've done everything and the decision, I can say on this House, the decision is to be made. We got, just last week, we got a revision that 2 amendments that the Minister said, because of that we should come back. When we look at the law constitutionally, we don't bring executed documents to this House. We don't bring executed documents to this House. We come for the permission to go and execute the documents as the Constitution clearly states. So we came back to the House, we consulted the clerk and everybody, and even at that time the thought was that they could give us a letter. But then became an issue that let us bring it through. The same report stands. The new executed amendments have been brought, documents have been brought. Let's just go through it. Mr. Speaker, we would lose the opportunity ever if we will lose the opportunity forever if something this honorable house had agreed that it is something that we should. And considering that the change, even the legal experts reading the change and amendments brought, came to the point that change is minor and we could continue. Because the first agreement was not on an executed document. It was a draft document with the Parliament of Ghana to go and execute. That is the constitutional understanding. So if we miss today, we forever. And we have to do it. And I do know that even if our colleagues, I get the parliamentary resolution and I come back and say, we didn't get the numbers, we can still come back here. But that would be an internal matter. But we wouldn't have missed the opportunity and the vote far away in Congo, Brazil. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I plead that you make an excuse on this one and do it responsible, and your good self also responsible for something this Parliament has already agreed on. Thank you.
I'm trying to get a copy of the report which this motion is about. If you have a copy, I'll be glad to look through it. Honourable members, I'm deferring consideration of the current item. We'll come back to it while a few items are clarified. So, consideration of the item is deferred. Yes, Honorable Chief Whip.
Earlier on, we had taken item 67. And Speaker, we are reliably informed by the table office that the drafters are yet to incorporate the amendments. And so for that matter, Speaker, we want to withdraw that particular item 67, and wait for the drafters to incorporate the proposed amendment before we can take that.
We have taken a decision, so we can withdraw. You probably want to move that we rescind the decision so that the draft persons will complete their work and reapply. So can you move for a rescission?
Speaker, based on current information given, may I move this August House that item 67, as earlier moved, be withdrawn? I so move.
Be rescinded.
Be rescinded.
Yes. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second.
Honourable members, the motion is to rescind the decision taken on item 67. All in favor of the motion, say aye. All against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion to rescind item 67 is carried. Yes.
Speaker, may we move to page 46?
45.
Wait. 46. Page 46. Take item 64.
Yes. Available leader. It is to take item 64.
Yes.
Very well. So, item 64, motion by the Minister for Transport.
It's a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I like to move that item listed 64 on page 46 of today's other paper. That is Ghana Civil Aviation Bill 2012 be now read a second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion, and in doing so, I would like to present your committee's report. Mr. Speaker, this bill was referred to the committee on Wednesday, the 12th of June, 2024, for the committee to go through and determine generate a report for the plenary. Mr. Speaker, the background of the bill of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority bill was passed on 11th November 2004. Over the past 19 years, international aviation standards have been revised, resulting in amendment to certain provisions of the Act in 2016 and 2019. Mr. Speaker, the amendments to Act 678 have made it more difficult to implement this, further compounded by the enactment of Aircraft Accident and Incident and Prevention Bureau Act 1028, which transfers some of the functions of Ghana Civil Aviation Authority to the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau by removing certain provisions in Act 678. Mr. Speaker, paragraph Point zero talks about the purpose of the bill. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with the authority's primary mandate of ensuring compliance with the convention and other aviation-related international agreements, as well as taking security measures to safeguard air transport and protect lives and property within Ghana, the bill, among others, seeks to provide the necessary legal backing for aviation safety and security. The bill also seeks to ensure compliance with international civil aviation regulation by the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the committee has thoroughly examined the bill and is convinced that the proposed bill aims at harmonizing and consolidating existing laws, treaties, agreements, and international protocols regulating civil aviation into a single legislation. The bill also aims to ensure that Ghana strictly complies with the international security standards, annexes, and protocols to which the country is party. The passage of the bill will also ensure compliance with ICAO protocols on civil aviation and improve safety and security in the aviation sector. Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore recommends to the House to adopt this report and pass the Ghana Civil Aviation Bill 2024 in accordance with Article 106(13) of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. I shall submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me opportunity to make a few contributions to the Civil Aviation Bill. Like the chairman said, the Civil Aviation Bill seeks to align the Operation Civil Aviation Authority with what is present practice internationally. That is separating the civil aviation operations different from the accident prevention and regulation, so that it meets all international standards. Currently, our Civil Aviation Authority is performing very well. Until 2015, we were ranked the highest in Africa for proper operations and conformity with the international regulations. Currently, we've slipped a bit. Kenya and Cote d'Ivoire have overtaken us. And therefore, we should up our game so that we reclaim our tops in Africa. The next report is coming out in August this year. And if we are able to pass this bill before that time, it will put us in a good stead, so that by the year 2025, when the next evaluation is done, we may regain our top spots. So far, Ghana has been very controlling most of the airspaces in West Africa, and therefore we should continue with the way we are working, and we should empower the Civil Aviation Authority to be able to perform very well. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I support the adoption of the report, and so that the work can continue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Yes, Honorable Leader.
Speaker, first of all, let me commend the leadership of the committee. My good friend, the minority chairperson, has been passionate about this particular piece of legislation, and particularly commend the minister and the chair. The speed with which they at this report, Chair, you've done a good job. It's a straightforward matter, as I said, is to bring together all the pieces of legislation that exist relating to this subject matter. I think we've done well. We must commend ourselves as a nation. Speaker, if we proceed to page 9 of the report, Speaker, if you bear with me, Ghana is scheduled to undergo a full archival safety audit in 2025. As Speaker, this piece of legislation is a critical element, and hence it's something that must be worked on and passed. I will therefore urge the House to support this piece of legislation at the second reading and get it adopted so that we can proceed to the next stage, which is very critical, and get this piece of legislation passed. I thank you for the space granted.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to contribute to the motion numbered 64 on today's order paper, that the Ghana Civil Aviation Bill 2024 be now read the second time. Mr. Speaker, as a matter of fact, this is a bill that the House ought to consider under a certificate of urgency because of the nature of the bill. Mr. Speaker, this House in 2004 passed the Ghana Civil Aviation Act, that's Act 678. Mr. Speaker, this law has been amended in the year 2016. It was subsequently amended in the year 2019. Mr. Speaker, that the international standards in the aviation industry is often revised. Mr. Speaker, this House again passed the Accident and Incidents Investigation and Prevention Bureau Act 2020, Act 1028, which has an impact on Act 678. Mr. Speaker, putting this together with the revision in the standard in the aviation industry, it is important to reform and standardize the laws in the aviation industry. Mr. Speaker, we need to revise our laws to be able to meet the international standard requirements. Mr. Speaker, this particular bill is seeking to do nothing but to bring reform and consolidate our laws in aviation and to be able to meet the international standard. Mr. Speaker, it is with this view that I support that Ghana Civil Aviation Bill be passed into law, and if possible, do it under certificate of urgency. Mr. Speaker, the ICAO has safety and security auditing requirements that the aviation industry is frequently audited, and after every auditing, they will put requirements down for the industry to meet. And the law as it is now is not giving authority the needed strength to be able to meet these international requirements. So, Mr. Speaker, if you pass this particular bill into law, it will enable the aviation authority to be able to conform and comply with the international standards. Mr. Speaker, I support the second reading of the law.
Yes, leadership. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to make few comments on this report. I thank the chairman for this report. Mr. Speaker, indeed, this is Mr. Speaker, it looks like colleagues are not paying attention.
Honourable members, order.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, this is a very important piece of legislation. As a result of what we have all done over the years, Ghana's Civil Aviation Authority is highly rated in the country. Our accident record is very good. We superintend
over what is called Accra Flight Information Region, which covers Togo, Benin, and some other countries. If we didn't do the right things, we would not be allowed to do this. Mr. Speaker, I just also want to use this opportunity to remind the public, on occasions like this, there's no difference between us in this house. We support these things wholeheartedly. But the 2% that we disagree is used to define what we do in this house. I can go as far as saying that I'm in opposition, but I'm a sponsor of this, because right from the beginning, why we should do this, I've been part of it, and I feel good about this, because, Mr. Speaker, this piece of legislation, if passed, would make flights over our country even safer. It is not out of place, Mr. Speaker, that sometimes when even global carriers have to in flight, they prefer to do an emergency landing in Accra than anywhere else. They actually manage to get to Accra rather than just coming down where they are, because of what we have done as a house. And I believe that when we start the consideration, we can address it. And I want to thank the minister, particularly Ghana Civil Aviation. If all SOEs, if majority of SOEs are managed and run like Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, will be at a better place than where we are right now. So something good must be happening there. So I just want to encourage Mr. Kreku and all the engineers who manage that place to do better. We are not saying that they should just go and sleep, but we should make sure that when they come for the next review, the standards that we can only improve, we don't come down. Even the bigger players like Nigeria and other things, Mr. Speaker, it will surprise you to know that we are envy of what they do there. So, Mr. Speaker, I think I commend to colleagues to support this, and then we take it through the consideration stage quickly so that we can make this work. Mr. Speaker, yourself have been a member of the committee, a senior member of the committee. You should be proud of yourself.
Unfortunately, I've been removed as a member of that committee.
Oh,
so.
I didn't know that the chief would remove you from the committee.
They removed me. They took me back to constitutional and legal. I'm tired of law, but they took me back there.
Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I think our colleagues to support this report and get it passed. Thank you.
Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, I'm compelled to add my voice to the call on this House to consider the under certificate of urgency. Mr. Speaker, the ball is in the court of the committee chair. I associate myself with the comments by Honorable Abuja and Honorable Ahiafo. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe that the House will be ready to take this bill through the consideration stage. So, Chairman of Committee, you are hereby called upon to take the necessary steps to get this bill passed as quickly as possible. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is all in favor of the House adopting the report. Say aye. All against, say no. The ayes have it. The report is hereby adopted by the House.
Act to review and consider laws relating to civil aviation, establish the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority to regulate aviation safety and security and provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the Civil Aviation Ghana Civil Aviation Bill 2024 read the second time. As Honourable Leadership Bench.
Speaker.
Speaker, we are ready to go on to other paper addendum and take item 1 on our addendum.
Yes, Honorable.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I don't have any issues with this. The last time the minister was here, colleagues from both sides had very serious concerns. Those concerns have been sent back to the committee and have been addressed. I am informed that they have dealt with those issues, and based on that, it is no longer harmless. So we okay to support it, at least what I've been told, that it is not about price control. It's the price control element have been taken out. It is about reporting, the price reporting to the committee. And if that is the case, Mr. Speaker, the advice is that it's no longer a provincial issue, so it can go. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister. Yes.
Which one? Ghana Standard Authority, Pricing of Cement Regulations 2024.
Yes, the bill is duly presented. It's referred to the Committee on Constitution, Subsidiary Legislation, consider and report. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, last week, just because I saw looking at our colleague, the Minister of Education, in the chamber, last week an issue about the College of Education workers was raised on the floor. The chair directed that the minister responsible for education should be in the house today to update the house. We can see him in the house, but I can't see any move by my colleagues opposite to, I'm told that the staff, some of the staff are even in the gallery. I can't see any move colleagues on the other opposite side to invite the minister to update us. If they have any further information, at least so that the staff who are here will know that the house takes their news seriously. Mr. Speaker, that is just for them to do.
Yes.
Speaker, our colleague is right. The Speaker directed that the leadership should arrange for the minister to apprise the House. That was not the only subject matter. Also lingering questions that the minister had to answer. However, I followed up, and the minister is here, he will confirm. I followed up, and I was trying to brief you a while ago, that the Speaker, the same subject matter should have been directed to the Minister of Labour, since it's about workers going on strike. I empathize and agree that something has to be done immediately. However, under the circumstance, the minister has written officially that the directive should be redirected, so to speak, to the Minister of Labour to come and apprise the House, because I am aware of ongoing engagement by the minister with the striking workers. So our colleagues, the Honourable Apak and Chief Whip, should exercise some restraint whilst we get the appropriate minister to come and apprise the House. I can assure him that we will leave nothing to chance. We will leave no stone to get the appropriate minister to apprise the House. Honourable Apak, many a time we have raised issues and we have followed through to get to its logical conclusion. On this occasion, I want to promise you that we will follow up and get the appropriate minister. In this context, the minister responsible for labour come and brief us appropriately.
What is the comment about that? I'm going to ask the leadership. When was this directed? It was last week, I suppose. And subsequent to that, you met and programmed the business of this week. I wonder if you made space for the minister to tell us anything. If not, you can amend your order paper and make space, because what the people we're working with today does not appear to have any room for that. And it's a full house. The paper is very full and very big. So may I suggest that you program him on another day, that you, the leadership, agree and bring him to the House. Thank you. On that matter, I've closed it. They will program and bring him. That's all. Just proceed with what is advertised for.
Speaker, having exhausted business as scheduled, may I move this August adjourn to tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the forenoon? I so move.
Any seconder? Are you seconding the motion?
Speaker, I thought my colleague, I agree with you. You said we should reschedule the minister. I don't even know which minister we are supposed to reschedule to come here, since it is striking College of Education teachers. We are told that it is about labor. So is it the labor minister we are scheduling to come to the House, or the education minister? So let the people tell us which minister, tell us which is being scheduled.
Honourable members, if I understand you, the directive was given by the Speaker. The directive is directed at the Minister for Education. Let the Minister for Education come here and tell us that he thinks that it is somebody else, and explain why it should be somebody else. The person who is to answer to Mr. Speaker's directive is the Minister for Education, and not anybody else.
Mr. Speaker, in this case, we can invite the two, Mr. Speaker. We can invite the two, so that we don't have a situation where the education minister comes and we listen to him, and all that he comes to say is that it is nothing to do with me, something to do with another colleague who is responsible for labor. So why don't you give the directive for the two ministers to be in the House to respond to the issue?
Speaker, in this House, we have a responsibility as leaders to help you regulate the Adjournment. We have a responsibility as leaders, and the Speaker has given us a wise directive. Speaker, it is to us as leaders to sit down, and then we can program. If it has to be the 2 minutes, I do not mind. We can program that as leaders and do that accordingly. I don't think this is a matter we should split our heads over on the floor. Who are we inviting? We will meet as leadership and take. I am saying to you, I don't need to repeat myself, that the minister I followed up, and he has said that the matter is on striking workers. And to the best of his understanding, he answered by the labor minister. If you disagree, fine, we can meet and take a decision and probably bring the two ministers to come and speak to us, what will make you happy. But let's not take that decision on this floor. So I agree, and I suggest that we as leadership should meet and iron out these differences and duly report to you.
Mr. Speaker, I agree with him. So I will recommend we invite the two ministers.
Very well. I encourage the leadership to meet, agree, and invite them to brief the House about the supposed strike. Yes, Honorable Sarah Joasafo, there's a motion for adjournment. Are you seconding the motion?
Mr. Speaker, before that motion is moved by my leaders, on the issue of the briefing or the statement to be on the issue that the Speaker directed same to be made on the floor. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the issues, I think it overlaps. It's interministerial. Some part of it deals with labor. That is why